Hi everybody, this is Dr. Devaney, Bridgewater State University Physics, and this is the second part of the tutorial for writing LIX documents. Ultimately, we want our documents to look a little bit like this. This is a paper that one of our students wrote, and it looks like a book. It has a great table of contents, and it had some figures in it. Or you might want to do something that looks like this. This is kind of an article type paper with an introduction and then equations that are numbered. Okay, so our students are going to be writing this with LIX. LIX ultimately is a friendly interface to LaTeX, and LaTeX is a processor that takes care of the layout of different type of documents, while all you have to worry about is the content. It's what you see is what you want in terms of layout. So let's create a new LIX program or a new LIX file. And the first thing I want to do is choose the document. And if I go document setting, you see I chose an article. And this kind of tells LIX what you want it to make the layout to be. So here we want it to be an article, but you can make a letter, you can make it a book, you can make it a CV. And notice this thing, RevTech 4, that's what the layout should be for a paper that's published in physics. That's what it should look like. So we're just going to concentrate on making an article today, so we'll say OK. And then once you choose what document class you want, the environment over here fills in exactly what the ingredients are that are needed for the layout in the type of document that you wanted. So if I wanted an article, the layout, the environment has everything that I need for an article, like title, author, and section. So let's start doing it. Let's do a title, measurement of the speed of light. And my name is Dr. D, and I'm at BSU Physics. And I'm going to put in an abstract. I have already written one, so I'm going to copy that and paste it right here. There's my abstract. We'll paste it in right there. I'll hit enter. And now I'm going to concentrate on what I want, what the sections of my paper I want to be. So let's do an introduction. And don't worry, there's a spell checker that you load in when you download LIX. Then we'll do inline equations, and then we'll do display equations, and then we'll do cutting and pasting figures, and then let's have something like actual experiment, and then conclusion. All right. And so here's how to do it. So again, this is going to be an article, so LIX knows what it needs. So I'm going to click on my title area, come down here and click that. It'll make it the title. This is the author, me. This is my affiliation or my address. This is my abstract, so I go and click anywhere in the what I want to be the abstract, and then hit abstract. And then once it's done all that, these are the sections that I want to go into making up my article. Section 1 and Section 2. Notice that all I have to do is tell LIX that I want it to be a section, and it takes care of all the numbering and, again, all the layout that you want. And so I want my article to have all these sections. Section and conclusion, and I'll make that the last section. Alright, and then while I'm at it, let's start. A good paper has to have references, so let's start with a bibliography. So I'm going to put a bibliography right there. It pops up references, and then key 1, that's going to be reference 1, and then I put in the reference right here. So Dr. D, Nobel Prize in Peace, 2009, and then a second one is Dr. D, Nobel Prize in Physics, 2010. So it's been a busy year. Alright, and let's just see what it looks like. This button up here is a PDF viewer. It shows you what this paper is ultimately going to look like, a PDF. And it's already looking great. It's got the references and everything right there. It looks great. So this does not save the PDF file yet. It's just what the PDF would look like. But let's save this file right now. So go File, Save As, and what I recommend doing is making a separate folder for your project, because LIX will later save picture files and the PDF file ultimately in that folder as well. So call this the speed of light. Alright, so we've saved that. Alright, so once we've done that, let's start typing in our intro. Intro goes here. Intro goes here. Alright, now I want to talk about making it look like a little bit more mathematical and including all the equations. So the first thing is an inline equation. So this is an example of, and now I'm going to put what's called an inline equation. Alright, and so if we're going to be dealing with equation, I like to have this palette down here, this math palette. And if you don't have it right away, go View, Toolbars, and then Math Panels, and then that palette should show up. Alright, but I want what's called an inline equation. The inline equation is going to literally occur within the text. So the way I do it is I say Insert Math Inline Formula, and notice I get the equation editor and the blinking cursor, and that's where I'm going to put my equation. So my first equation is going to be E equals MC, and then I'm going to come down here and I want the superscript, and I'm going to say square, and I'm going to say space. That gets me out of the superscript. A space again gets me out of the equation editor. I'm going to put a space again and say this is an example of an inline equation. And hit period, and let's take a look at our PDF viewer, and when we go to our PDF viewer we have an equation that's inline and it looks great. Alright, the next type of thing is display equations. So display equations often occur are on, own, and often numbered. Alright, so let's put in a display equation. I go back up here. There's two different ways. I'll show you the two different ways real quick. First way is to choose the display equation. And so here I'm going to put in the display equation E subscript total space equals, and let's say gamma. So I'm going to go to my Greek letter palette, gamma subscript V space, and then MC superscript squared. Okay, so I double click. If I hit space I get out of it, or just use the mouse to get out of it. But if I now go to my PDF viewer, it looks like what's called an a display equation. It's offset on its own, but generally we like to number that. So choose anywhere in your display equation and then go edit and go math and number whole formula, and the number symbol will show up. You don't have to worry about the numbering. LIX does that, and I hit my viewer, and lo and behold, my display equation is numbered. The second way to put in a numbered display equation is to go and say insert number and numbered formula, and it assumes that it's a display equation. So here I'll type in what gamma V is. So gamma V subscript, and this is a little bit more involved formula, so it's good practice. So the top will be 1, then divided by, and then we'll say the square root, and then 1 minus parentheses. Let's see the parentheses right here, and then we'll have this again, V over C. We'll hit space again to get out of that, space to get out of that, and then make it a superscript squared, and hit space, 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 and we're out of it. And let's hit our PDF viewer, and we've got two great numbered display equations. Okay, a couple other useful things are footnoting. So let's put a footnote here. So come up here and choose this as an insert footnote. This will be footnote 1, and we'll say this is a low speed approximation. Alright, approximation. Alright, and so that's going to add that footnote to that sentence. So let's check that out. And what I've got is my footnote right there for that equation, and then again the footnote appears at the bottom, and the layout is perfect. And then let's actually add our citations to these two equations. So what I'm going to do is go to where I want the citations to be. I'm going to go to insert citations. If I click on key 1, that's my first Nobel Prize, so I'll add that one. And key 2, that will be my second one, so I add that one. I say OK. And lo and behold, when I hit the PDF viewer shows those two citations showing up. So I've got notes, I've got citations, and it really looks good. Alright, another important thing is cutting and pasting figures. So let's cut and paste our figure. Let's say what gamma really looks like. So what I want to do is I want to come up here and choose Insert Float Figure. And that will be a figure that's numbered, so you can reference it. But inside this cursor, you want to put the citation for the figure. So this is gamma versus speed. All right, and then what we actually want to do is we want to put our figure right there. So I did another program, Maxima, which is also freeware. Right click, copy on my calculation for gamma, come back and say edit, paste. And now notice what it's doing is going to name, it wants to name that picture file. So that's why I suggested making your own folder for this project, and I call this Speed of Light paper, and I'll just call this figure gamma. So we'll save all the figures in that file. Alright, and if we do a quick preview of this, we go down, everything looks great. We've got the figure caption right there, but maybe the figure's too big. So go back to the original figure, right click on the original figure, go to settings, hit scale, and maybe scale it down to 60%. Say OK. And now let's do the PDF view of everything, and we come all the way down, and that's much better. We might want to work on centering it, but essentially we've got everything we want in our paper. Notice the footnotes at the end, the references. So we've got a great looking paper. So we're pretty much done. What I want to do, the very last thing is before you go in and actually create the PDF export, is do the PDF print preview and make sure you like it the way you want. And then when it's the way you want, go File, Export, and export as PDF LaTeX. And when you say yes, what it will do is it will create a PDF with that file name, but it's .pdf, and it will be in the folder that you created, the Speed of Light folder. There's my Speed of Light PDF that I just created, and if I click on it, I've got my great looking LIX paper. Okay, thank you all very much. Hope you enjoyed it.